Welcome back to Behind the Box. We got our Netflix pick segment now, and Raphael gets to go first with the movie I'm not even going to say the title of.
Space Captain Harlock.
Oh, okay.
Does sound kind of weird, I get it, but it's a translation because it's a Japanese movie, and it started as a Japanese animation, comic book, etc. But then what makes this different from the actual Japanimation version is it's all CGI, and it's beautiful looking graphics here. And sometimes you like, I admit some parts of the movie seem like a cutscene in a video game almost, but it's so clear, so beautiful to watch. The visuals itself are just amazing. But the story is about this 100-year-old space pirate, which two of my favorite things, pirates and space put together, and man, it's just great. So he flies this impenetrable ship, and he gets infiltrated by the coalition who's trying to take over control of the planet Earth, who's actually has been deteriorated and all the humans have left, but they want to go back. And what the coalition did is keeping people, they want to retain the power, so like the big government of the universe, so they're covered the whole planet to make it look like as if nothing's wrong with it with these holograms. So what their mission was to go back to Earth, destroy the hologram generators, and show the entire universe what actually happened to the Earth. And what happens is, 100 years ago, the captain, in a defense, because he was under attack, released the power energy from his ship, which is dark matter, which is, you know, the energy for the ship. And anyways, released it in defense, and as a result, destroyed the Earth. And he's been flying around the universe for 100 years trying to figure out a way to fix things, but instead, his original mission is to go back and destroy it.
Holy crap, I'm watching this.
But
This is awesome.
But
That
in the
sounds
very
awesome.
end, in the very end, he does change his mind because he meets new people and then realizes, you know, what he's doing. And because the main reason why he changed his mind was because he thought that whole time, that 100-year time, that the planet was completely dead. So why not just destroy it and start everything over again? But what that'll do is it'll destroy the entire universe.
Wow.
If he were to destroy it because of that dark matter. But
I love shit like that, though. He's looking at me like, I love that kind of stuff.
He finds out that the dead planet...
Well, don't give the whole thing
Yeah,
away.
don't tell the ending. I don't want to know.
Okay, well, he has some revelations toward the end, but it's such a beautiful movie. I highly recommend it. And yes, it's in Japanese with English subtitles.
Oh.
But
You lost them.
I know, but I went into that after the description, and then when I started, I realized it wasn't Japanese, but I don't mind that so much. I really don't, because I do have, you know, a love for Japanese animation, and this just is great. So
Nick's got to weigh in on this.
now, what do you think? Space and pirates.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, the two things that I'd worry about is the subtitles for Japanese. Like, it's not like Spanish or Portuguese where you can kind of pick up what they're saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, you speak Spanish, but if you don't, you can. It's based on Latin, so you can kind of figure it out, and like the sentence structures are pretty similar. But first thing is the uncanny valley. You know what that is?
Mm-mm.
It's like when things get too real, when they're CG and they look almost too real. Like, did you ever see that Beowulf movie? It was kind of the same thing.
I think so. I don't really get
Like,
that much into it, but
well, where they like capture somebody's face and then just recreate it digitally, and it's so close that it almost seems weird. Like, there's not that, like, if something's animated and it's hand drawn, like you can feel for those characters and things like that. But sometimes if that uncanny valley is too narrow, like it's too close to real, but you know it's not quite real, it kind of throws you off.
it definitely didn't give me that vibe on most of it, because the beauty of the graphics just alone was just amazing. So
I may still watch it.
but it didn't get that vibe. But I recommend it now.
But I don't mind subtitles.
Me neither.
Well, you definitely don't have to know Japanese or anything to watch the next show. For Nick's pick here.
It is like they're speaking a different language sometimes. So.
I like this show.
But
This
you
is a
got to
great
know
show.
a little bit of politics. But you know,
I think you kind of learn politics.
that's what
watching it.
I learned from this show. Like, I had no idea.
So
That's why I
House
couldn't
of
understand The
Cards.
West Wing.
So I'm glad you made that reference. So House of Cards, Netflix original, great show. Everyone loves it. If you haven't watched it, need to watch it. Have you watched it?
Heck yeah, man. I watched,
Yeah.
2 seasons?
Yeah, it's got 2.
Yeah, I watched the
2
whole straight
seasons.
through, man. Binge watched it
I
in
thought
like
it
a
was
week.
3.
3 will be the next.
Oh, okay.
I think they're doing a third season.
third
next
season?
year.
They've got
Yeah.
to. They've got to.
Yeah, they got to
Sure?
keep the story going. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just reached his
Whoa,
peak.
Did you watch both?
Don't give it away.
Well, no, I'm not going to say what, but I'm just saying that the show's just reaching its creative peak.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I really want to see where they go after the revelation at the end of season 2.
season 2, yeah.
But like I was saying to you before, if like to compare this to West Wing, if West Wing is like a stroll through the halls of the White House, this is like the back alleys of Congress. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely like the
Shady,
underbelly.
real shady
yeah,
stuff.
Exactly. It's definitely
Well,
manipulation and going behind the back, kind of like behind the box, and you know, doing dirty deals with people and tricking people out of things. And,
Manipulating the hell out
And
of
don't forget
people.
murders.
yes,
Lots of
definitely
killing.
Yes,
murders.
lots of surprise killing.
when necessary.
Like
you know.
slap my forehead, like, what?
What just happened? You know, you're
Yeah.
watching a political thriller, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh
It's
my
really
god,
thrilling.
it gets a little real
Dead.
there. Yeah.
Like, no, I
Oh,
like her.
man.
Oh.
That was just like, that was too much for me. Like, I had to go back and play that again.
A couple things I thought it was like a daydream.
A
or
dream
something.
sequence,
And I'm
yeah.
like, they've never done a dream sequence in this show. But I'm like, oh, that didn't happen. Like they're gonna cut back and it's just gonna be normal. It's gonna be.
Dude, you said it best. It seemed like a dream sequence, like it didn't really happen, and then suddenly you realize
But those are
Whoa.
small.
it really did.
But those are small. I mean, those are definitely huge turning points in the show. But mainly, it's about these characters and their interaction, and Frank Underwood, who is Kevin Spacey,
And
who
Kevin
is Frank
Spacey,
Underwood.
I mean, he puts everything into this role. And the breaking the fourth wall
Oh yeah.
is completely awesome in this show.
So breaking the fourth wall is talking to the camera, talking to the audience, and he does that right off the bat.
Like if I
That's-
turn right now and say, hey, did you know, blah, 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 blah.
That was a great example. Yeah, just like that. But yeah, so they use that ploy, but it's not cheesy, it's not overdone. It fits perfectly because Frank Underwood is smarter than everyone, and he wants you to know.
Yes.
And occasionally he even just like kind of looks over at the camera.
Yes,
and
yes,
you're
that's
like-
the best part, when he
you're
looks
like,
over at the camera and he just kind of does that.
And personally, I like it a lot because we're based out of South Carolina, and he's supposed to be from South
Yes,
Carolina. And he went to school at the Sentinel, which is the Citadel. You know, they just didn't use the real name and things like that. So it's
I think
definitely
all 3 of us can highly recommend House of Cards.
another thing.
Another thing from Netflix that I would really like to recommend is The Killing. Have you guys heard of The Killing?
I've seen it on my recommended page, but
It's good.
I'm excited for what you have to say about it. So
All right,
I've
well,
seen season 1.
and that's
Yeah.
really the best season of the show is season 1. But you know,
Well, then I'm not going to watch it anymore. I'm
well,
done.
no. Well, all right. Now
Go ahead.
I'll go in a different angle here, okay?
Do it.
Because I don't want to draw people away from that. But you know, The Killing starts as a single premise show. It's almost like one of those Cop of the Week shows or Case of the Week shows that I really don't like to watch, like the NCIS and the CSI type thing. I do watch those every now and then, but they just don't keep me drawn into it because I feel like you get no reward from like watching it in long run. You know, some of them have arcs, but
But this isn't like that.
no, but that's what I'm saying.
I
I'm
thought you said it
no,
was.
no. This is not like that, and that's what I'm saying. It starts out like that, and you think it's going to be okay. This Case of the Week type thing. Girl goes missing, turns up dead. They got to figure out, you know, who killed her, what happened. So it follows 3 or 4 different people very heavily, and it serializes heavily to get to know these people and not just be like, this is the case. You know, it's this girl, we get to know the girl that goes missing through flashbacks and stuff like that. We get to know her mom and her dad and her family and what they're grieving and going through at this time that she's gone. And the 2 detectives that are completely not a really good match for each other. one that's kind of
Right
like
for the show.
yeah, they're right for the show, but they're two offset characters.
Right,
You know, you got like the homeboy kind of detective character who's
Kinnaman.
kind of loose and you know, and then you got the woman who's very like confined and has a lot of secrets and a lot of problems, and it's just she's kind of shy and withdrawn from the world. So it's kind of you put them two together and they have to solve this case. But like I said, it's not about the case in general overall. It's about the people. And they spend the whole first season, and I will have to say that you do not get a full resolution to the missing girl storyline in season 1. They kind of trip you up there at the end. Second season, after you watch the second season, you do get a definitive, like, okay, this case is over with. We know everything that happened and why, and it will make your jaw drop when you find out. I watched the first 2 seasons back to back like a year ago. Really loved it. But then I heard the 3rd season was coming out on AMC because this originally was airing on AMC.
Yeah, that's,
And the 3rd season was supposed to be like an all-new case. So I didn't know if I really wanted to start over. Well, I'm glad I did because now I'm back on watching it because they struck a deal with Netflix to do a final season to give the show closure. So season 3 is what I'm watching right now on there, and it's a brand new case. It's a little bit different approach. It's not really about a missing person anymore. It's more like a bunch of bad things happening at once, and they have to kind of figure this out. But it brings the 2 characters back together to solve the case. I don't know what the 4th season is going to be like. I haven't got there yet. But if you like drama and you like mystery and that kind of a thing, this is right up your alley. So, I mean,
this was based on a book, right?
I don't know.
I think I talked to my dad about it, and he had read the book before, but it was just the one story, the first story, like about that one girl.
Rosie Larson. That's
right, and that's what I think. Like their plan was like, hey, we can just stretch that story over multiple seasons, and it'll be enough to fill it. But then they kind of realized that people wanted a resolution.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely, and it was kind of a cheated resolution at the end of season 1. So it was like. Because they do give you a resolution, but they leave you
Not
wondering,
much, yeah.
Okay, but what about all this, you know?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a great show to recommend, and hopefully when I get through watching the 4th season, I can comment on how the show ends and what they do. But Netflix did a really good thing by picking them up and giving them that last couple of episodes. So
Yeah.
and it's going to make money for Netflix too, so, you know.
Everybody loves money.
Good stuff.
Exactly. So we got a lot more coming up. Future Focus, our final segment, talking about upcoming movies and TV shows. Stay right